What's up, guys? It's Blazin. I'm coming to y'all today with a video of my new PC. What we're going to be doing is I'm going to use Newegg's website and go through each part with y'all and see what the availability is and see what the prices are for y'all if y'all are interested in any of the products. Not a sponsored video or anything, just wanted to get the information out there to show y'all what rig I'm going to be running for the MW2 grind. So let's start off. I'll bring up a notepad here. We'll go piece by piece. CPU. All right. Went with the Ryzen 5950X. Why'd I choose this one? I've had Intel builds in the past and wanted to give Ryzen a try, and I absolutely love it. It's an amazing CPU. I'll put this on the side in case people with a little bit more extensive knowledge. It's a 16-core, 32-thread processor. All right, let's look that up here. $5950X. Usually they're in the ballpark of $600. When they released, I believe they were around 800, 700 or 800, but now they're in the 600 ballpark, and it seems here 5950X. So you get a deal for 548, which is still, that's a pretty good deal, honestly. Just to click on it, I'll let y'all read any information you want to on the screen here. It is in stock, it says. Good price for the deal. All right, on to the next thing. Let's go GPU next. Pull the notepad back up. I'm doing this notepad in case y'all want to screenshot all the parts at the end. I'm going to put them in the description of the video as well, but just for the video's sake to keep it all nice and neat here. GPU with the RTX 3090 Strix White edition. Now this thing is a needle in the haystack to find. It is hard to find this thing. RTX 3090 White. Should come up with that. And as you can see, most of the cards are going to be still a little bit over MSRP on here. I mean, this one's just insane. $2,900 for... Whew, that's insane. But these are more reasonable. $1,900, that's still really steep. $1,300, that's definitely better than 28, 29. Click on this. You are going to get 24 gigabytes of VRAM with this card. It's an absolute monster. It runs with all these components. I'm playing 1440p on Warzone, and I average above 200 FPS. So that's without tuning the computer either. That's just what it does, which is pretty impressive. 1860 megahertz, and the boost clock's 1890. Core clock's 1890 as well. PCI Express 4.0. If you care about these stats, I'm just reading them off, and you guys can always pause the video and read them yourself if you like. And that's the card. It's a beautiful card. I mean, the ROG always does a great job of designing things, and the RGB lights on them are crisp. Another thing about this card that a lot of people overlook, I feel like, is how well it doesn't sag in the computer. A lot of cards at this level, like the size of it, you know, here's your back plate on this side, and then you have your pins that go on the computer right here, and then on this side, it would slouch, you know, it would go down. But this card, it stays super flat without a GPU support bracket. Usually cards at the side, you don't have to, but for the premium you're paying for them, you might as well protect your investment and get a support mount for it. But this card, I'm not running one right now, and it's as flat as it can be, which I'm really impressed with. That's the GPU. Next, we're going to go to, let's see here. Let's do RAM next. With the Trident Z Royal Elite. And let me put this at the beginning. I went with 32 gigabytes. Say CL14, and CL stands for cast latency. CL14 is by far the best one. I've heard CL18 gives it a little bit of run for its money, but CL14 I would recommend at 3600 megahertz. And there is something to keep in mind if you are in the market for the Trident Z Royals. There's two different kinds. There's the regular Royals and there's the Elites. Let's type this in. Should have it down here. Yeah. These are the Elites. You can get them in silver and gold, just like the regular ones. But The regular ones don't have that diamond stuff across them right there. It's just going to be a sleek design, like super flat, which still looks really good, but I like the little like diamond look they have going on. Also, if you're new to RAM, you at least want 2 DIMMs. You can go 4 DIMMs, but you at least 4 DIMMs is not always better. You know, usually people think more is better, But 2 DIMMs of RAM, you want dual channel at least. People with 1 stick of RAM, if you can, upgrade to 2 DIMMs as soon as you can because you want that dual channel. The single channel is just nowhere as close to the performance you'll get from the dual channel. Now with these, I would recommend going 2 16 gigabytes so you get 32 gigs. Do you need 32 gigs with gaming nowadays? No. But if you're going with the high-end rig such as this one, there's just no point not to spend like the extra $130 to get the extra 16 gigs. I went with the silver one because my whole build is white. I went with silver, DDR4, 3600 megabytes, cast latency, CL14. G-Skill is the brand that makes them. This is the one. I just think these are incredible. They look amazing too. They have like diamonds all over them. Not real diamonds, of course. They're like plastic diamonds, but they still look really cool. All right, let's move on to the next part here. Oh, also one last tip. If you have no idea what XMP is, make sure you go look up a video about XMP and make sure it is on your computer. Especially if you have a high-end system. Lower-end systems I'm not as experienced with. Like if you have like a 10-year-old computer or something like that, I'm not sure exactly about XMP on those. All right, let's go with motherboard. What motherboard did I go with? Of course, with the Ryzen series, you know, we had to go with something that would fit that socket. So I went with the Asus Dark Hero. This is the only component in the PC that isn't white. Now, you may ask me, why didn't you get a white motherboard and your whole PC is white? Well, for this generation of Ryzen right here, they didn't make white motherboards for them, which is really weird, honestly. Like, all the white builds you saw were Intel builds because they didn't make white motherboards for these, I don't think. Dark Hero. All right, let's go down to it. Do I have it right here saved? Dark Hero, I do not. This motherboard does retail for around $500. If you find it for lower than that, it's a good deal. $461, that's still a pretty good deal. There's an up close picture of the motherboard. It's got some cool ROG LEDs on it. I like how the attention to detail they make. You even put the name of it right in the middle of the motherboard, which is cool. Is it a premium for the board? Absolutely. Do you need a $500 motherboard? Absolutely not. But if you're going with a crazy system, I just decided to go all out. So this is the one I picked. And also when you're picking motherboards, kind of important, you don't have to have it, but do you see those little numbers up on the top right side of the motherboard? That gives you a code and it tells you what the system's doing. I've saw some high-end motherboards not have those, and it's very confusing because you pay such a premium for it, it doesn't have the numbers to tell you what the code is reading, which is odd. But this is the motherboard in all its glory. It is the X570 set or the 5950X. Awesome motherboard, no complaints. All sorts of connections in the back, as you can see on the left side there. Absolutely amazing motherboard. No complaints whatsoever. Let's move on to the next thing here. Let's do cooler next. Make sure I specify this. CPU cooler. If you've heard of them, you know about them. If you don't, you got to try one. The NZXT Z73 360mm AIO. It is absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, just an awesome cooler. People use them for every build that I've seen. And they even have, if you don't have a 5950X or a 12900K, you have, one of the lower ones or a mid-tier one. They have different levels of the size. So instead of 360, you go with a 240. It's just 2 fans instead of 3 big fans in there, So keep that in mind. You don't always have to get the crazy one. But for this build, definitely one of the 360mm. Let's look that up for availability as well. Usually all these parts are going to be available except graphics card wise. NZXT 360mm, Z73. Okay. And of course I went with the white one, but usually they're going to be around $300. See here, this is this is it right here. This is the one, but of course I got mine in white. And where the 32 is on this one is really neat too. Where the 32 is, it's a screen on there. You can customize it with all sorts of different things on the screen. You can put your logo on there. You can put little moving objects on there if you want. You can do all sorts of things with it. Right now on mine, I have the CPU and GPU temperatures displayed, just if I want to look over there and see it, So absolutely amazing cooler. Does the job. Does an amazing job. Move on to the next thing here. Let's go with what kind of case did I get? Very important, making sure all your components will fit nowadays. Case, I went with the Lian Li Evo. Lian Li Evo. Hold on, let me pull this up real fast. The white one, yep. 11 Dynamic Evo. They do have an 011 Dynamic, but not the Evo version. The Evo is quite new, and I really did want to try it because I have tried the regular 011 before, and it was great. I had no problem with it at all. But Evo, give it a try. Why not, right? As you can see, I'll zoom in on it. Let me move my notepad. Cool LED strips in the front there. 2 USBs, USB-C, and a headphone jack in the front, it looks like. And plenty of room for everything. Power supply, shroud, of course. Most modern cases have power supply shrouds. And just a beautiful case. Tempered glass side panels, they're amazing. They do such a great job at Lian Li. All right, let's move on to the next thing. And the next couple things are going to be Lian Li products. Let's go with case. Let's go with fans. What did I go with? Also Lian Li product. A Lian Li SL Infinity. I can spell infinity. The SL Infinities, they are fairly new. I went with 10 of them. The case is a 10 case fan if you want it to be. 3 on the bottom, 3 on the back side, and then 3 across the top with the radiator for your AIO at the top. And then one little single exhaust fan at the back. Let's see here. Lian Li SL Infinities. They are a pretty pricey fan, I will not lie, but they are very nice. They have a mirror on the front of them, and if you've seen the old Lian Li fans, it's kind of like both of them had a baby with each other, and this one is just the best one they've ever made. They are $60 a fan, pretty pricey for them, but they look amazing. They perform great, and I have no problems with them at all. Never had a problem with them. You can customize them, so much customization in the colors. Absolutely love them. Next, let's see, case, we got fans. All right. Go through everything real fast, see if I'm not missing anything. All right, let's go with Strimers now. If you're unfamiliar with Strimers, it kind of replaces little boring cables with cables that light up, and they're really neat on the outside of them. I went with another Lian Li product, Lian Li Strimmers, and I went with, let me show you guys on here, because if you're unfamiliar with the terms, the 24 pin and the one that goes right beside the RAM. Show them to you real quick. Hold on. I'll show you what I mean. Okay. So you see a 24 pin cable. It's the ones that is going to, depends if your graphics card is mounted vertically or not. Mine is mounted normally, and it comes in from underneath the card and plugs in the front. These give it a cool aesthetic. I'm looking over at it right now, and you have your 24 pin coming out, and it just gives it a little bit more personality, instead of just white cables or black cables or whatever. Nothing wrong with them, but you can just make them all sorts of different colors. You want to do all white, all red. You want to make it a rainbow in there, all sorts of different colors, like a lot of RGB is. And this is just a 24 pin strimmer, I think. I don't see the other one on here. Wonder why they don't have it on here. Well, you go on Lian Li's website, you will see all of them, 24 pin plus the other one. All right. Let's grab my notepad back. There we go. Okay, we're going to go with OS, operating system, Windows 10 Pro. I haven't upgraded to Windows 11 yet because anything when there's a window update, even if it's like 9 to 10 or 10 to 11 or just within Windows 10, like just a little update, Windows updates scare me to death sometimes. You never know if something's just going to go nuts on your computer. Most of the time not, but I still update it too. I don't let it sit, but just gives me a little the heebie-jeebies, honestly. So if we go to the top, we'll do a quick little recap here. Let's see, CPU, GPU, RAM, motherboard, CPU cooler, fans, case, Strimers, OS. I don't think I've missed anything, honestly. I think we covered everything that all the important parts. Actually, we did miss one. We probably should cover this. It is a very important part. A power supply. Which power supply did I go with? With these high-end components, you definitely don't want to short your system, because then it'll just shut off. And I didn't really want to go with like a 1600 watt because that's kind of unnecessary, really. So what I went with was a Seasonic Prime 1000 watt titanium. Now you may be asking, Blazin, why did you go with a titanium power supply? Or Blazin, what is a titanium power supply? Power supply has ratings. You can go with the white power supply, which is kind of like unranked. You can go with you typically want to stay away from the white ones. Bronze, silver, gold, platinum, and after platinum is the big boy, titanium. Now, do you need a titanium power supply? Absolutely not. It's just the efficiency rating of the power supply. It's how efficient it's giving and taking power. If you look that up on the internet, you'll see all like it gains like 2 to 4% each time you go up. Now, is that going to make your system run crazy fast or anything like that? No, absolutely not. Just something you pay a premium for if you really want it, if you're building like a crazy top of the line system. It's funny enough, this even has has different modes on this power supply, which I haven't even got to mess with, really. Price-wise, we're looking at about $297. They're usually about $300, so you're saving $3 there. Fully modular, of course. Comes with no cables already plugged in, like you can't unplug. That's what that means. You have to plug all of them in. It has anything you could want back there. Just click on it so you guys can read anything you'd like on this. Does come with a 12-year warranty, which is pretty insane at the time of filming this video, at least. And like I was saying, you can go with 1600 watts, but I mean, I have no use for that whatsoever. This system is incredible, and I still have no reason for that much juice. So let's go over this one more time. CPU, GPU, RAM, motherboard, CPU cooler, case, the fans, Strimers, power supply, OS. I look over at the computer right now. It's running like a charm. Nothing else that I can't ask for it to run any better, honestly. So I appreciate y'all tuning in for this video. We got Modern Warfare 2 coming up. Very exciting. I'm going to be doing a full early access campaign playthrough on my channel, and then we'll get to the camo grind and start playing ranked play, do all the fun stuff. And then Warzone 2 will come out. We'll get in on that. We're going to be doing all sorts of content on the channel. We got a new lighting setup I'm testing out in this video. It should be shaping up to be an amazing year. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Until the next one. Peace.